Guys, I'm back and I just wanted to show you another piece of news, information, whatever, celebrity gossip, whatever. Take it how you want it. But I do want to apologize first and foremost that I do not know how to do it the correct way. The only way I know how to do it is screen recording. So, yeah, I want to apologize for that first and foremost. We're going to be talking about Oprah here. It's probably just going to be a quick short. It's from the girl, this one girl's TikTok, and you'll see her information right there. So definitely go check her out, subscribe. She probably makes bomb ass TikTok. So yeah, and yeah, that's it. All right, let's get started. Bye.
Like she used to. I'm so glad the internet is waking up about this long forehead velociraptor looking ass.
Damn.
I am so tired of Oprah. I really am. All
Me
these people
too.
in the world got a problem with you, and you think you ain't the problem. Even Taraji.
Yeah.
Even Taraji. I mean, come on. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical, baby. I'm just saying. Nobody becomes a billionaire by being ethical. So me seeing Oprah get dragged, I'm like, ooh, hit her again. Ooh, hit her again. Hit her again. Especially how she did them people in Maui talking about, I'm gonna pray for you while you got all them acres of land. Give the land away, baby.
Right.
Faith without works is dead. Prayer without works is dead. Give the land back, baby. So anyway, it's been nice seeing the internet drag Oprah. I know Monique is so happy that the internet is finally waking up about Oprah. Like, she gives me the worst vibes ever. And the first red flag was that billionaire shit. That was the first red flag for me. But then she kept having issues with people, and people kept talking about their issues with her, and I was just like, ooh, you a real nasty type of woman. And perhaps the most troubling of allegations surrounding her, especially considering the recent climate, is how she may have used her South African school as a front to traffic minors. And it gets even worse, folks.
We arrested a former employee of who was working at Oprah Winfrey.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right about here just because I wanted to make this into a short. Or, you know what, I'll keep going and I'll just make it into a short later. Let's keep watching.
Academy for girls. She was
But if you do want to see it for yourself, just look up Jaguar Wright reveals exactly what Diddy... Let me see if I can see the rest. Diddy and Oprah did to Ice Cube. See, that's the benefit of me screen recording. You guys can see it right here. You know, the name and everything and what to look up and all that. Alright, let's keep watching. And I'll try not to speak so y'all can hear. But yeah.
Arrested yesterday for several charges, including assault, indecent assault.
Hold on.
As well as
let's rewind that.
Girls.
We're talking about Oprah? 549, so let's say 29.
Of was working.
Let's just say 515.
Nasty type of woman. And perhaps the most troubling of allegations surrounding her, especially considering the recent climate, is how she may have used her South African school as a front to traffic minors.
Facts.
And it gets even worse, folks.
We arrested a former employee of who was working at Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for girls. She was arrested yesterday for several charges, including assault, indecent assault, as well as soliciting girls under the age to commit indecent assault. And she's now at the Vereniging police cells.
And when whispers start...
Hold on, did I get this correct? Or did I hear him wrong? Because they do have strong-ass accents. Was Oprah arrested? Please, someone tell me. Because I didn't hear about all that. I heard she fled the country, but I didn't know she was arrested. Alright, someone please let me know. Please.
To emerge about what was really going on at her school, Oprah had this bafflingly fake response.
Something strange is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls.
Go look and see what happened to them girls.
So Oprah opened the school all the way back in 2007. And since the school's opening, it has been marred with many different controversies. You see, shortly after the school opened, a matron of the school was charged with touching several of the girls in a very inappropriate manner. When the crime eventually came to light, Oprah herself went to fire the school's headmistress. Then, in another incident that happened in 2011, law enforcement investigated the body of a newborn that was...
Because she wasn't down for the call, she probably got fired. Yeah, not because she got caught doing something, because she wasn't down to keep a secret or whatever the fuck. And now she's probably living in hell, living in fear, having to look over her shoulder because the Sluminati is probably fucking after her. Let's just be real. Come on, tell the truth.
found in one of the students' bags. Apparently, one of the girls at the school gave birth, but there were no charges filed against her after this incident. There were also other scandals the school was involved in, like in 2009 when 7 students were suspended for seeing their classmates. And now there's a new scandal that the school is known for, as many people online have started spreading rumors that girls are disappearing from the school. According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing. But as of right now, nobody is sure why these rumors have started, as there is currently no news reporting that there have been missing girls at Oprah's school. Regardless, these rumors have managed to go viral.
Because they're good at what they do. How many other women have gotten the flu or whatever it's called? You know that flu that I'm talking about. The Kim Porter passed away from that Aaliyah plane crash. I mean, it's like either plane crash, whatever that flu is that they keep putting on people, and freaking I don't know a word to rhyme with this, but suicide. Suicide. Yeah, suicide. But yeah, I'm just saying, Robin Williams, yeah, if they want you taken out, if you know too much or you're speaking up, yes, they will take your butt out. You are not bigger than them, and you can't even go to the police because the police are getting paid off. You can't go to nobody. You stuck like Chuck. So you better get with the game or you're going to get taken out the game. I'm sorry, it makes me so passionate because I feel so bad for these people who have talents and shit like that, and they just want to make it, and they don't know about this. They're innocent to it. They have no idea what they're about to walk into. They're walking into the mouth of the lion, and the best way to get out of the mouth is to freaking get out slowly. And that's exactly what Jaguar Wright did, and I highly recommend y'all go check her out. But again, these people are fucking evil. Like, what don't people get about celebrities? They are evil. Majority of them, I would say. 90% of them. Alright, sorry, I'm gonna replay it because I've been talking. I apologize. It just makes me so upset.
In the school all the way back in 2007. And since the school's opening, it has been marred with many different controversies. You see, shortly after the school opened, a matron of the school was charged with touching several of the girls in a very inappropriate manner. When the crime eventually came to light, Oprah herself went to fire the school's head mistress. Then, in another incident that happened in 2011, law enforcement investigated the body of a newborn that was found in one of the students' bags. Apparently, one of the girls at the school gave birth, but there were no charges filed against her after this incident. There were also other scandals the school was involved in, like in 2009 when 7 students were suspended for seeing their classmates. Wow. And now there's a new scandal that the school is known for, as many people online have started spreading rumors that girls are disappearing from the school. According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing. But as of right now, nobody is sure why these rumors have started, as there is currently no news reporting that there have been missing girls at Oprah's school.
Because it's a poor country.
Regardless, these rumors have managed to go viral all over TikTok and Twitter, and they continue to be spread to this day.
I mean, that does not sound believable at all.
But to believe that you can take them as property and them and sell them, and it's something from the dark ages. It is just so horrific.
That's how people get
Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls.
Tickets.
And I had girls there from grade 8 to 12. Oh, look how weird this is. Number of students, 322. The faculty members, 666.
And now there is a whole situation with missing kids in South Africa.
South Africa has seen a huge spike in child kidnapping and murder in the last few months. Civil organizations are worried that the country is losing its fight against the menace. Our reporter, Colton Onwu, has filed this story.
If your car is worth less than $50,000 and you make less than $35,000 a year, then you can act.
Over the past few months, several posters like these have been circulating on social media. We're pleased to help find these missing children who have been allegedly kidnapped. Communities and civil society organizations believe that the issue of kidnapping is getting out of hand. According to the South African Police Service Missing Persons Bureau, a child goes missing every 5 hours in South Africa. A non-profit group, Missing Children South Africa, says the country is losing the fight against the rising number of child kidnappings.
This seems too coincidental to be true, especially when you also consider that she was named on a list connected to Jeffrey Epstein. And we all know how he operated.
I've spent so many years being silenced, not only by the perpetrators that have abused me, but also by society, and I'm tired of being silenced. I would like to make it very clear, Ghislaine is as guilty, if not worse, than Jeffrey.
Wow, good. Good. Too bad he got out easy.
It was very difficult for me, a very vulnerable, naive 22-year-old. All of a sudden, I'm thrown into the sex trafficking ring, and once you're in, you can't escape.
Yep, exactly. Just like the Illuminati.
Orchestrator. She engineered everything. You answered to Ghislaine. This is the same woman that grabbed my arm and forced me into a room to be raped by Jeffrey. None of us were safe with Jeffrey alive. And none of us are safe with Ghislaine and the co-conspirators out in the streets. Ghislaine needs to be behind bars for the rest of her life.
She's not? I wasn't reading the title.
That he was about to confess just how many people he had been involved with, and who his clients were before he suspiciously died by suicide.
Yeah, right.
But not even his own family believes that.
When I first heard that my brother was
He paid his way to get out of jail. You know it. Look at the photos on Tubi. Look at that documentary. If you didn't know they had one, they do.
dead, I actually heard it on CNN. The government did not notify me, as they've claimed. I thought, okay, he killed himself. At the time, I had no reason to doubt it, and I just figured that was his decision, and I respected it. I grieved the loss of a brother, but it was his decision. But then, after the autopsy was done, and all the other information started coming out, it became apparent that it was not a suicide. When you looked at the autopsy results, the photographs we have of the body, the details of the mark on his neck, compared to the way they said he was hanging, nothing matches up. If you looked at all of these facts and evidence, you would not come up with the conclusion that it was a suicide, other than the fact that Bill Barr made that ridiculous statement about it being a suicide, and the chief medical examiner, Barbara Sampson, overrode the actual pathology autopsy and declared it a suicide.
And this man continued to raise even more interesting suspicions.
I knew my brother wasn't a flight risk, and he's my brother. I didn't care. And then bail was denied, which is why he was in jail. And then they were going to appeal the decision for bail. And Jeffrey was putting up a pretty big bail, and they asked me for the appeal if I would guarantee his bail. And I agreed, in essence, doubling it. So there was a chance he might have gotten bail. And that hearing was scheduled, I think, for the 12th.
He's alive.
In a couple of days. So then I'm thinking, if he was going to kill himself, wouldn't he wait?
I want to see a body.
After the bail hearing? Yeah, because if he got bail...
I want to see a body. Sorry, I'm moving around. I want to see a body with DNA. That's him, With not one of these coroners that freaking buried Kim Porter and all the rest of them. No. A real one.
He'd be living in his house with an ankle monitor and armed guards and cameras so he wouldn't disappear anywhere.
Bullshit.
Not that I thought he would try.
You could pay him well.
And then if bail was denied again, then it would be a more compelling argument for him to kill himself if he wanted to. A few days before the bail hearing makes no sense at all.
But it truly is what he says next that really shocks you.
Someone really wanted to kill Jeffrey Epstein, right? They had to assume he was about to talk and give information about some, high-profile people. Otherwise, what would be the incentive to kill him?
Which I doubt.
Did you ever get an understanding from your brother that he was going to talk about anything? That he was going to be, be a government witness? I mean, because I'm trying to understand what the motivation would be for him to be murdered in prison.
Well, I believe you're right. Again, that's which I tend not to do. Yes, Jeffrey did have. I didn't speak to Jeffrey while he was in prison.
Okay.
The last time I spoke to Jeffrey was the night before he flew home when he got arrested. He called me from France, and we just had a normal conversation. And the next day he came home and he was arrested. And that's the last time I spoke to him. I did not see him in prison.
And you know who else has been sued for trafficking and abusing children? Diddy. Initially, he was just under investigation for his connection to Jimmy Henchman, but now he's had literal lawsuits filed because people are now coming out claiming they were abused as minors. In an exclusive interview with Banfield on News Nation, Courtney Burgess claimed to have received 11 flash drives containing at least 8 sex tapes involving Diddy and 8 celebrities. Burgess testified before the Diddy grand jury in the Southern District of New York and shared that among the 8 celebrities, 2 to 3 were minors.
Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
Man,
No.
bitch,
And
please.
of those
Who you lying
8
to?
celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if
appeared
they
to be
were right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be
me rephrase
right,
it.
based on yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Because he drugged them. He would know.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How
All
many
of
might
them.
have been victimizing?
By him.
I think
All of them.
all,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Finally, tell the truth.
Were
Finally.
victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
Oh, I
They
thought that
all
was
8 were
Diddy
victimized.
speaking.
Meaning,
Victim.
this was happening.
I'm so sorry. I thought that was Diddy speaking. But finally, he telling the truth. Back to the video. And so, I am so sorry for my outburst. I just can't hold it in. Like, it makes me so upset. I am so sorry. And I would hate to say at 27:10, this is my commentary. No. But I do need to pause the video if I want to say something. So I do apologize profusely. It just makes me so upset. Alright, let's go.
To them, and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3. Possibly
Bullshit.
3.
Bullshit. You lying.
Burgess
And
was
you always
asked whether the
lying.
people in the videos knew they were being recorded, and he confirmed that
Bullshit.
cameras were hidden in private areas,
Bullshit.
including
Then
places where
they
people
didn't
would
know.
assume they had privacy, like
You had to
bathrooms.
assume.
Courtney Burgess revealed during his interview with Banfield.
Listen, they didn't know they was being recorded. You just had to assume he's a millionaire. He has cameras in his house, but you would think that you would see the cameras. The fact that he had them hidden was for a reason. Yeah, breaking and entering, so they could get away with it, blah, blah, blah. But they had them hidden for another reason. We all know why. Please, stop. Stop with the lies. And Courtney Burgess is not credible. He is not a credible witness. He's just as good as Woody, lying. But he just don't admit it like Woody did. Woody at least admits he's a fucking pathological liar. He don't. He tries to make him seem like he a good guy. He's telling the truth. He want to do right. But he's not snitching because that's against the street code. Bitch, you telling the truth and that's all that matters. It's not snitching. It's not like you wearing a wire. You just telling the truth. And it makes you just as bad. Just like you said. It makes you just as bad by not saying nothing. Yeah.
On News Nation, that in addition to the sex tapes involving Diddy and several celebrities, the flash drives he received also contained what appeared to be a manuscript.
He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his
including but not
kidnapping,
limited
and
to
arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses.
Burgess said the manuscript seemed to have been based on private journals belonging to Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend.
that
though
were
it's unclear who wrote
embellished,
it.
that were changed.
And we know there's a lot to unpack with the Kim Porter situation.
Why things are happening that nobody spoke
if you
on?
saw his body language, you would see he lying.
Why is that
not
a person can say that they left at 8 in the morning and Kim was alive, and 11, she's dead? Some foul play, bro. If it was foul play, why would somebody want Kim Porter killed? It's a couple of women in this industry, and for their sake, I will not mention their name. Listen to me. There's a couple of women, probably more than a handful, but I know about 4 of them that knows everybody's dirty secret. And if those secrets get exposed and tell what some of these guys and some of these people were really doing behind the closed doors, in the boardroom, in and out the closet, that their life would be in danger. Because men wasn't men, and women were acting like men. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Jaguar Wright has a good explanation.
If you was Diddy's PR team, the smartest thing for you to do would be create your own version of the Kim Porter book. And make sure it gets pushed out there first, so anything that comes after will always be held in question. It's brilliant. It's great spin.
When she died? For the autopsy?
Get his version out.
Yeah. Okay.
Before the real version come out.
For what? Why was he there?
Y'all better believe everything that Al B. Shore says. It's about to get disgusting. See, this is the thing. Kim's official book was never sent out to anybody in complete form.
His attorney added that Burgess didn't make any changes to the document, but it was unclear whether Burgess had received the manuscript from a man or a woman. When pressed on whether the manuscript was genuinely based on Kim Porter's diaries, Burgess affirmed that it seemed authentic. He mentioned that he had spoken with Porter just 6 hours before her death, which strengthened his belief that the document was connected to her personal experiences.
Diddy could do whatever, Puff could do whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them. He wouldn't let that happen unless he was bringing them to the picture. That's what he used Kim for, bro.
Weirdo.
He wanted to make a deal with somebody. He'll get another girl and a guy that he's trying to make a deal with, and him and Kim and them, they all party together. Man, he used Kim for that shit, bro. Well, so he used Kim for that? Yeah, bro. Yeah. You don't do that to somebody you're supposed to love, man.
However, questions remain about the detailed dialogue included in the manuscript, with Burgess acknowledging that some might find it difficult to recall such specifics from past events. And it seems like Diddy is now in increasing risk of being silenced in jail, because federal authorities have confirmed that during a recent sweep of the jail where Diddy is being held, they seized drugs, homemade weapons, and electronic devices. This jail, which houses about 1,200 inmates, has come under increased scrutiny following the fatal stabbings of 2 men earlier this summer. 5 inmates have since been charged with murder in connection to those incidents. Additionally, 4 other detainees, along with a guard, face assault charges related to separate violent incidents. One case involved a man who was stabbed 44 times by 3 gang members, while another involved an inmate who was stabbed in the spine with a makeshift ice pick. Do you think we could see Diddy go a similar way? Let us know in the comments below.
I have a huge surprise for you.
You're pregnant.
Yes! No!
Thank God. Your favorite comedy series is on Pluto TV.
The bass is back.
All aboard! The King of Queens, now streaming free on Pluto TV.
All right, boys, let's do this. With Paramount Plus, the family that streams together wins together. Imagines together.
Get it? Imaginary? Friend?
Races together. Cowabungas together. Jellyfishes together. You get it. Watch all of this and so much more.
That was incredible.
Together. Paramount Plus, now streaming.
Bada bing, bada boom.
May 7th, 2012. Machine Gun Kelly makes a tweet. That tweet reads, okay, so I just saw a picture of Eminem's daughter, and I have to say, she's hot as in the most respectful way possible because Eminem is king. The problem with this tweet at that point in 2012 is that Eminem's daughter would have been 16 years old at the time. And then nothing happened from this tweet. For about 5 years, nothing happened. There were no repercussions. There were these little whispers and interviews that MGK does that allude to the idea that perhaps Eminem was unhappy with that tweet. And perhaps Eminem was trying to blackball him from the industry because of that tweet.
What did you say about his daughter that got him so mad? What did you say? You know what I said.
That she's hot.
You have to admit she was out of line for that.
These are just internet rumors. These are celebrity gossip. It's not until 2018 that it gets confirmed. These two do not like each other. In 2018, Machine Gun Kelly drops...
Guys, I am so sorry. I was doing something else, but let's keep watching. Fuck.
...song called Rap Devil. Now, this is very interesting because it's a play on words. If you guys know anything about Eminem's discography...
And if y'all don't know her, she makes the best videos. If you want to be scared shitless, like we're talking like true crime stories and you feel like you're the best friend talking on Skype with her, it lasts like an hour or two, legit. And fucking, also... I watched one video from her, and I think I watched another, but I fell asleep because I was tired. I was like going to sleep anyways, right? And the one video was about Chinese young girls having to do horrible stuff to their body, and then it was broadcast for the world to see. And one guy would pay the girls for it, and it would be like legit, and the other guy would blackmail the girls and would legit give out their address, give out when they do ballerina in South Korea or wherever this is at, China. They have an open window where you can see them dancing. Okay, well, they would tell where they were dancing at. I mean, they really, the one guy called the doctor, really ruined these girls' lives. And if any of you guys are from South Korea or China or whatever, I'm not sure where it was at again, but if any of you guys are from there and you heard about this, it's very popular to have these rooms and these chat rooms and stuff like that. So she gives out the motherfucking tea, if you want to know. She really does. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a heads up on, you know, what's going on and, you know, etc., etc. Alright, y'all.
One of his most famous, well-known songs, it's called Rap God. So for Machine Gun Kelly to drop Rap Devil, it's clearly a hit on Eminem. Once you read the lyrics, it gets even crazier. And these two start dropping diss tracks against each other. And we're not here to talk about MGK and Eminem. It's just that as they're releasing these diss tracks, there is one name that keeps popping up in all their songs. Diddy. Sean Diddy Combs. In Rap Devil, MGK raps about how he's signed with Bad Boy Records, and the lyrics read, "Why you claiming that I'm going to call Puff when you're the one that called Diddy? Then you went and called Jimmy." Jimmy is a guy that runs Interscope Records, which MGK is also part of. "They conferenced me in the morning, and they told me that you was mad about a tweet. You wanted me to say sorry? I swear to God, I didn't even believe him. Please say it's not so. The big bad bully of the rap game can't take a joke.
I love that song, though.
He's basically saying, hello world, Eminem was so mad for the past 6 years, so mad about this tweet from 6 years ago that he called both my record label bosses, Diddy, who owns Bad Boy Records, and Jimmy, who owns Interscope Records, to about it. But that's crazy because he's the big bad wolf that can do anything, right? So he can do anything but take a joke? To which Eminem releases a diss track titled Kill Shot, where he makes many disses towards MGK, but again, we're not here to discuss that. We're here for Diddy. He makes a reference for Diddy in that song as well. The lyrics read, but Kels, the day you put out a hit is the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac killed.
And Aaliyah.
Eminem, in his song, whether he is serious or it's just creative liberty, he has just now accused Diddy of murder. But at the end of the song, Eminem says, and I'm just playing Diddy, you know I love you.
Yeah.
Diddy never made a public statement about Eminem's lyrics, but sources that were close to Diddy said he was furious. He was pissed off. So what the hell does this all mean? If he's not joking, that means Eminem truly just accused Diddy of killing one of the biggest names in the rap world, Tupac? But that was in 2018. Nobody was focusing on Diddy. Nobody was focusing on these lyrics. They were so caught up in the diss tracks between MGK and Eminem, and the fact that Kill Shot was one of the most viewed videos within 24 hours of releasing. Some people picked up on it. They thought it was clever, but again, it doesn't make mainstream news like that until 2024. This year, Eminem releases yet another song called Fuel, and this time it's in your face. The lyrics read, I'm like an R-A-P-E-R, got so many essays. Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he?
What?
Rest in peace, Biggie. And Pac, both of y'all should be living. But I ain't trying to beef with him, because he might put a hit out on me, like Keefy D get him.
Whoa, when was this?
A few months ago. Now, in a 3.5-minute song where Eminem is rapping at an unhumanly fast speed, it might be hard to realize, especially if you don't know many of the people that he's referencing. I mean, the R-A-P-E-R, that one is very obvious. He's calling P. Diddy a raper. But the next part, he's talking about two rappers that were murdered, Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac. They were both related to Diddy. One he saw as his main competitor, and the other one he saw as this money-making machine for his label. And within 6 months of each other, both of them were murdered. There are new allegations surfacing that Diddy might be responsible for both, which a lot of people find it very easy to believe.
Pause. He saw how much Tupac made off of his death. So he saw how much Tupac made off of his death. That's why he killed off Biggie. Why would he tell him to go to the same state that he is hated? Come on. And he fucking got shot there. And when it's a drive-by, people get hurt, people get injured, blah, blah, blah. It was just one person. And that's who they came to kill, and they got him. Alright. They didn't get nobody else. Even though, wasn't he right in the car, or Suge Knight and stuff like that? No, Suge Knight didn't get killed, or didn't get shot either. Only fucking Tupac. So yeah. And only fucking Biggie. That's it. So yeah, it was a planned hit, both of them. It's sad. It's really
considering
sad.
That Diddy has a past of people dying around him. Mm-hmm. This is part 3 of the Diddy case, where we cover the 13 deaths closely linked to Diddy and all the supposed evidence there might be linking him to those murders. There might be linking him.
Oh, fuck it. We might as well just watch this shit.
Currently ongoing and developing as we speak. There have been no court verdicts yet, so unfortunately I must legally state that these are all the current allegations and accusations. People are innocent until proven guilty. Some statements have been shortened for time, and furthermore, all reporting for this episode is taken from the information that is already available online. Please form your own opinions and do your own research. I am not here to convince you of anyone's guilt or innocence. Some potentially triggering themes involve heavy use of illicit substances, including date, R-word drugs, DV, workplace and gang violence, essays, trafficking. This case is going to be very heavy. So in part one, we did a deep dive on Diddy and Cassie's lawsuit, as well as the allegations of the freak-offs and the supposed Illuminati connection. In part two, we did Diddy's yacht parties and the mysterious death of his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his children, Kim Porter, and the so-called memoir that was released on Amazon. This part, we will be talking about the 13 people that are mysteriously linked to Diddy that have died, including hip-hop legends Tupac and Biggie. In part four, we're going to go over current ongoing allegations, new lawsuits, and all the celebrities that have been listed on the so-called Diddy's list. So another quick disclaimer, I did not grow up in the Tupac Biggie era. I've listened to their songs before, and I know that these are two of the most influential artists to this day. And the significance that they played in the music industry, even posthumously, I mean, I know that much, but in terms of their upbringing, their beliefs in the world, I can only tell you from researching in hindsight. I did speak with people who have a deeper appreciation for the two artists, and I tried to include as much possible, but given the runtime of these pods and the fact that most of the conversation is still going to be centered around Diddy and the potential connection in their deaths.
I am so sorry, guys. I forgot my mic was on. Sorry.
This is not going to cover their artistry, the way that they create music, their beliefs, and the impact that they had on the greater world. I think that would take 3 more episodes. I also know that there's people that are still pro Tupac or pro Biggie.
It's 2 hours long.
The other, I tried to get a comprehensive overview on both, but I don't have a preference for either, nor am I trying to convince you to like one more over the other, truly. So with that being said, let's get into it. Do you know one of Diddy's biggest songs?
No.
It's called I'll Be Missing You. When it was released, it hit number 1 on the Billboard's Hot 100 charts for 22 consecutive weeks, which is kind of insane. The lyrics read, "Every day I wake up, I hope I'm dreaming. I can't believe this shit. I mean, I saw your son, he looks just like you. You will always be the greatest. You'll always be the greatest. I miss you big." The chorus of the song goes, "Every step I take, every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you went away, what a life to take, what a bond to break, I'll be missing you." This song is probably the song that many people think of when they want to really resonate with lyrics of losing someone. It's often played at funerals. It's about missing someone that's gone too soon. The whole thing was technically taken, actually, this whole song, from Sting's Every Breath You Take. He took a sample of that song and he just rewrote the lyrics without receiving the proper permission. Sting actually gets 100% of the royalties for that song to this day, but that is besides the point. It was probably one of the most pivotal songs during that time, and it was a tribute to his fallen friend, Notorious B.I.G. It actually won him a Grammy. But the wild thing is, in 2024, if we live in a world where some of the conspiracies turn out to be true, that means Diddy would have written this song as a tribute to the man that he may have helped kill, and sang it alongside the wife of the man that was murdered. This is the Diddy connection to Tupac and Biggie and their murders that everybody suspects Diddy was involved in. This particular elevator ride is taking a lot longer than normal. This is way back in the day. Typically to go up 8 floors, it would take about 48 seconds, but this is feeling like a lifetime. When Tupac gets up to the 8th floor, he can't even feel anything. His whole body is numb. He says, "When I got upstairs, I looked around and it scared the shit out of me." He sees standing there Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., famous rapper, alongside 40 other guys, including Sean Diddy Combs. They were all there working on a new album titled, interestingly enough, Conspiracy. Then one of the guys there bursts out crying, "Oh my God, Pac, you have to sit down, you have to sit down." Tupac said, "I was feeling weird, like why do they want me to sit down?" It's like nobody wanted to approach him. He says, "I noticed that nobody would look at me. Diddy was standing back too, and I knew Diddy. He knew how much stuff I had done for his artist Biggie before he came out." Whatever was said, or rather not said in that room, would solidify everything. Because in that cramped room, Tupac is practically alone, having been shot 5 times. Twice in the head, twice in the groin, once in the hand. And he has a feeling that one or a few people in that room have something to do with it. He was shot in the lobby of a studio. He hides in the elevator, takes the elevator up to the 8th floor, and there's Biggie, Diddy, and all these other artists on the east side.
He just got shot?
Just got shot. He's bleeding out.
by himself.
And no one wants to approach him, according to Tupac. And it was in that moment that he felt someone in that room had something to do with this shooting. Diddy and Biggie. And perhaps he was right. Perhaps he wasn't right. But within 2 years, Tupac would be dead.
Do you know who shot you?
No.
So does that mean that you also have no idea why they shot you?
No, I have no idea why they shot me. It's like anybody's guess. I don't know. I don't really like to talk about it.
He was such a sweet
There is a
soul.
conspiracy out there that Tupac Shakur, one of the biggest artists of all time, that he's more actually commonly referred to as a cultural phenomenon than a rapper, has faked their death. That's the conspiracy. Tupac is alive.
No.
He's faked his death.
Bullshit.
He's out there. He's just watching all of us.
What?
This is the conspiracy that he's still alive. So if you know anything about Tupac, a lot of people might have wanted him dead. The vice president at the time, Don Quayle, who served under George W. Bush, he would state about some of Tupac's music, there is absolutely no reason for a record like this to be published. No reason at all.
Time Warner's a subsidiary, Interscope Records, withdraw this record. It has no place in our society.
Why? I mean, some would say because Tupac would release songs that served as social commentary. He was trying to enact change. One song is titled White Man's World. Notable lyrics read, one thing they ever did wrong was being born black in this white man's world. Being born with less, I must confess, only adds to the stress. Proud to be black, but why we act like we don't love ourselves? Don't look around, check yourself. Know what it means to be black, whether a man or girl. We're still struggling in this white man's world. We must fight for the countless political prisoners who are locked up falsely by the white man. He names prominent activists who fought for black rights. Government did not like this song. For a long time, Tupac was actually on the FBI watch list.
What?
Now, it's really hard to summarize who Tupac was, and obviously nobody is defined by their career, but Tupac is different. He had a lot of intense views, and I say intense to highlight that it was intense for him. It was not smooth sailing for him to say these things, because they might be considered normal right now. But the things that he was saying like 20 years ago, back then, he's making people uncomfortable. He's making the FBI uncomfortable. So all that's to say, he's very ahead of his time. He's saying things like, I would have to change the world, or I have to be changed by the world. In an interview, he once said, this world is such a world, and when I say world, I mean it. I don't mean it in an ideal sense. I mean it every day, and every little thing you do. It's such a gimme, 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 everybody back up. You get taught that from school. Every business, you want to be successful? Gimme, 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 push, push, step, step, crush, crush. That's all it is. Nobody ever stops. There's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting the lotto for $36 million, and then we got people starving on the streets. That is not idealistic. That's just real. I mean, that is stupid. There is no way. There's no way that these people should own planes when there's people that don't have houses. I think that if they earned it, that's good. I think that they deserve it. But even if they still own it, they still owe it. He's known for being very, very vocal about the state of the world and what it means to be black and successful, but still feel indebted to the communities that you started from.
I don't fit in. That's hell. It's hell when you can't be around your peers. All my life, I grew up around black people, poor people, but I can't live around poor people now because they'll rob me. And why would they rob me? Because they're starving. Because there's no money here. But they're telling me, now that I made a little money, I have to move here. So it's not like no one's ever trying to deal with this section. They're just moving away from it. And we're gonna have more stars coming from together, but they're gonna all move this way. All the society is doing is leaching off the ghetto. I don't want to be another young. I don't want to be 50 years old at a BET. We should overcome achievement awards. You know what I'm saying? Not me.
Wait, he mentioned 50-year-old BET award?
Yeah, exactly what Diddy received.
Whoa.
To the point where Tupac had a lot of people who did not like the way and the things that he spoke about. They said, yeah, we would rather him not speak, like the vice president at the time. And he would say a lot of interesting things that I think ring true today. He would say things like, the government is the mob. Like, that's the mob. I want to read the books that Clinton is reading because he does the same shit that we do, that I do, but he doesn't get in trouble for it. He says, I think this country still runs on gangs. Republicans, Democrats, the police department, the FBI, the CIA, those are gangs. Even the correctional officers, which, side note, Tupac, he comes from like a line of activists. His mother was a prominent activist. She was part of the Panther 21, part of the larger Black Panther Party. Tupac was speaking at Black Panther Party rallies since he was 17. He's also had quite a notable personal life as well. I think a lot of younger people might know this part of him more than the activist part of him, which is sad, but you get it. He's been romantically linked with Jada Pinkett Smith. I believe they've known each other since high school days. I don't know if they dated per se, but they were really close. Jada Pinkett Smith liked to call them soulmates, and it was a whole thing. By the time that they were ready to date, allegedly, she was already dating Will Smith. He wrote about it in a book, talking about how he would never live up to Tupac. Because he's Tupac, and he's just the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Tupac was also linked to have dated Madonna briefly. The two of them kept it a secret. It was recently in the news because one of the breakup letters that he had written her before his passing, it went to auction for over $100,000, and it was this whole ordeal. Madonna tried to stop it. She's like, that's my private life. That's my romantic life. Why is that letter going up for auction? Who okayed this? Turns out her former personal assistant had gotten rid of a bunch of her stuff. This was included in that stuff. The judge allowed the auction to go forward.
The assistant was selling her love letter?
I don't know if they were selling or if they had just gotten rid of some clutter in the house and thought that this was clutter. But it seems a little nefarious. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Now, side note, in an interview from jail, Tupac had nothing but amazing things to say about Madonna. He did some not so nice things to her, said some not so nice things to her because he felt like he was a big Black Panther type of guy, and she's white. Even though she's shown him nothing but love, he never felt like he could date a white woman. And he said that he felt really, really bad because once he went to jail, he called her. She was the only one of that level, of that stature, that was willing to help him. Which, shortly after prison, he would be the one to say, my mama always used to tell me, if you can't find something to live for, then you best find something to die for. And he would die shortly after prison at 25 years old. There have been allegations throughout the years to keep this theory, conspiracy theory, that he's still alive, if you will. People were reporting from all over the world. I saw him in New Mexico. I saw him in South Africa. And then Tupac's former bodyguard states, I know the truth. The truth is, Tupac is alive and has escaped to Cuba. He states that Tupac has been smuggled into Cuba with the help of Fidel Castro himself. Which, side note, this is not a random connection. Tupac's aunt is a political activist that is living in Cuba right now as an American fugitive. So he does have connections. He says, I have definitive proof. As his former bodyguard, I helped him fake his death. He's alive, he's in Cuba, and I'm gonna show you that proof in a few days. I mean, this feels like the real deal. Surely, this is like his former security detail. This is not some random person on the internet that's like, I saw Tupac when I was vacationing. But right before he's gonna release the evidence, he dies.
What?
He dies.
How?
I didn't know.
Nobody knows.
Wow.
And then a year later, he comes back from the dead and releases a YouTube video.
Wow.
He says, my name's Michael Neese. I faked my death on the 18th of December. I'm here today, back from the dead, to show why and how I faked my death. I'm gonna put the record straight. I confess I faked my death, and I feel quite ashamed about it, but it had to be done, and I'm here to explain the reasons why. He argues that he had to fake his own death because he had to prove that he has the capabilities to help Tupac fake his death.
What in the world?
Yeah, he alleges that he has audio and video of Fidel Castro confirming that he sanctioned Tupac's move to Cuba. But the evidence has still yet to be publicly presented. People are skeptical about his claims now, but it has fueled the conspiracy that Tupac is still alive and well. And there's so many things to this theory. Yes, there's the reported sightings in New Jersey, Boston, Wall Street, LA, but there's also in his posthumous album that he did under Machiavelli, the lead single is called Hail Mary, which shows Tupac quite literally rising from the earth to murder all of his enemies. Now, the explanation here is he has all these unreleased music videos, these unreleased records that are now slowly getting released, but people thought it was weird. He's talking about rising from the earth to murder all of his enemies. Also, the album Machiavelli is a play on the word Machiavelli, the political philosopher. Apparently, he studied him extensively while he was in prison, and he was particularly a fan of the book The Prince, which some people have interpreted one of the lessons in there, one of the strategies for general principles of deception by Machiavelli to be faking your own death to control and fool your enemies. Some people went as far to rearrange the letters in Machiavelli because he could have spelled it differently for copyright reasons, because Machiavelli and Machiavelli are spelled differently. But also, what if it's an anagram for am, alive, K? What does K mean? K is a friend of his named Casanova the Don, which he might want to reassure that he's alive.
Why was he in prison?
Oh, we'll get there. It's a very complicated issue. Side note, he actually releases a lot more music posthumously than he did when he was alive. And in one of the songs you hear the lyrics, "Expect me like you expect Jesus to come back. I'm coming." People thought it was strange. Then in another song he sings, "I heard the rumors I died, murdered in cold blood, dramatized. Pictures of me in my final state. You know my mama cried, but that was fiction. Some coward got the story twisted." Furthermore, the way the unreleased songs, when they were released, they always sounded with the times. They always sounded modern, if you will. Yeah. Now, some argue that's because the way they cut and pieced together, remastered the song to be with the times, but still.
But why would he be faking his own death for?
Because it's not just the rap world that was missing Tupac. He was on the FBI watch list for being a political activist. And then it all comes full circle in 2024 when a book gets published alleging to be Kim Porter's memoir that we talked about in the previous episode about the horrors that she allegedly faced being Diddy's longtime girlfriend before she died. This supposed memoir is published on Amazon under the name Jamal T. Millwood, which is one of the many names that people believe Tupac is living under as his alias because he is still alive, is the theory. There are a few things that you should never do during a bail hearing. One of them is probably lashing out at the prosecutors. It's probably advantageous to not point at the prosecution team and say, these two dudes right here, they're not only ugly on the outside, they're ugly on the inside too. September 2023, a man named Dwayne Keefe D, that's his nickname, Davis, gets arrested for the murder of Tupac. He's part of the Compton Crips. Evidently, he likes to call himself the Compton Street Legend. That's also the title of his memoir.
You say last year?
Last year, decades later.
This guy got arrested for murder of Tupac.
Yes, for killing Tupac. Decades later, he gets arrested and he's pointing at the prosecution team, calling them ugly.
They're not only ugly on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside too.
You're like, what does this have to do with anything, right? Well, Dwayne Keefe D, gets arrested, and just like the case in episode 1 of Jonathan Odie, after his arrest, he starts saying some very interesting things. He starts singing to the authorities, and honestly, he had been singing to the public, to the documentaries, in his own memoir for years, that perhaps a certain someone had put a hit out on Tupac, worth 7 figures, $1 million. Kill Tupac, you get $1 million. Now you do the math. What kind of person has that kind of money to take down another person? The police don't have to guess because Keefe D tells them Sean Diddy Combs.
He says Sean Diddy hired him?
Yeah.
Paid him $1 million to kill Tupac?
Well, that's the thing. He killed Tupac. Well, he wasn't the guy that pulled the trigger, but they did it. They killed Tupac, and Diddy still didn't pay him. And he's very upset about that. He says that he still, to this day, never received payment, and Diddy owes him big time. Now, this is very intriguing because this was just last year. He was arrested before all the allegations came forward about Diddy. Tupac was killed back in 1996.
Yeah.
Is there any new evidence or supposed evidence linking Diddy to the murder? According to a new lawsuit filed October 15th, 2024, a few weeks ago. I don't know when you guys are seeing this. Ashley Parham, she's going public with her name, and Ashley said that she was sitting at a bar when this guy next to her named Shane calls Diddy on FaceTime. He FaceTimes Diddy. She said this was back in 2018. Now, this happened According to her lawsuit.
Alright, y'all, I'm running out of memory, so sorry. I gotta stop the video and then restart when I delete some stuff.